Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Green Nurse Podcast, where we bring you hope and inspiration for growth and healing. We're here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high. And I have a surprise for you all.
We're here to educate and empower patients to make choices that are best for them. We're also here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high. Hence the H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing. The Green Nurse is a holistic cannabis nurse that teaches on the endocannabinoid system and the safe utilization of cannabis and other progressive tools to help people reach a better quality of life.
I was cannabis agnostic for many, many years. And you know, the more research I did, the more I discovered that cannabis is this amazing medicine.
I was told that I had a 4-stage pancreatic cancer. The doctor really told me he couldn't do anything else. He gave me her name and she called me and she came to my house. She started to give me cannabis. My oncologist was puzzled because he couldn't find the cancer anymore.
All of the learning that we get comes from the Green Nurses Group, comes from their support, comes from their guidance. I trust everything that she says.
Simply meet people where they're at. The plant doesn't, stress to grow, so we don't stress to share it. We're healing people.
Cannabis has been used as a medicine for tens upon thousands of years. Here's the big message. Cannabis needs to be federally legal. We need to have laws that are the same across all 50 states that allow access to anyone and everyone who wants to utilize this powerful medicine.
Good morning, everyone. Rise and shine. It is Green Nurse, Carey, Lee, and Sherry time. Right? So that video just has means so much to me.
Oh my gosh.
I know, we're doing these morning shows because we are here to educate and empower you all to make decisions that are best for you. And so what we've been doing, you've seen Nurse Mark and I on here every morning. Absolutely fucking amazing. And Mark is awesome. I love Mark. Mark is taking a little sabbatical because he is creating the Worcester Protocol, which I think is going to be very fascinating. Oh yeah, he's an amazing man, and he's getting his nurse practitioner degree. And so he's just taking a little sabbatical for a while, and we're going to miss him, but we're really, really excited for all the adventures that he's going to be going on. And so as you all know, we've been doing these morning shows because we're here to educate and empower you to make the decisions that are best for you. And, we thought it would be fun to start having other nurses on the morning shows to bring different perspectives to all the different information that we're presenting. There are so many awesome cannabis nurses out there that they have stories to sell. They have stories to tell and experiences to share. So I'm really, really excited to have my girl, Green Nurse Iowa, Carey Lee, who works with us as a cannabis nurse coach, consultant at Holistic Caring Network. She also has her own business called Soul Thrive, is a ketamine nurse guide, supervisor at KetaMD for in-home ketamine treatment. So Carey, I just want to have you introduce yourself. You've been on a few other times, but there's a lot of new viewers. So I would love for you to have the opportunity to say hello.
Well, hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Sherry, thank you so much for having me on here. It's been a minute, and we always have such a good time. So I just want to thank you for giving me that opportunity to come on with you, and so we can have a little fun while we're educating and getting our learn on, right?
Oh, boy.
Oh, my gosh.
And, Carey Lee, some of the things, when we started hanging out together and working together and building Green Nurse, some of the things that we do in the morning kind of shifted from what we're usually do in the morning. And it's starting the day off with a lot of self-love. So for our new viewers, you created the Daily 5 to Thrive. And I think it would be really cool before we get into the reading of the day, the Daily Love, you would just share a little bit about what that is.
So the Daily 5 just kind of came about. I was struggling with my own mental health for many, many years and experienced pharmaceutical trauma, just from various medications that did not work, horrible side effects. I was just determined to find something more natural, find a way that I didn't have to rely on those medications. And it was just through trial and error. I just realized, there were 5 things that I needed to do every day, or at least strive to do every day, to really, really just boost well-being. And those things are just really simple: sleep, moving your ass, meaning getting some really good exercise, sweat sesh,
Yeah.
spirituality, meditation, gratitude journaling, getting outside every single day in the sunshine. Even if it isn't sunny out, getting outside every single day and breathing that fresh air and being one with Mother Earth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, number 5 is really just kind of like, hey, like education and keeping your mind, thriving and stimulated. So what are you going to learn today? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's through those tools. So it's just, those are just like those 5 basic things. It's like getting back to the basics. Why do we
Right.
have to go for, these things over here first, when we can really start with the basics, like sleep, good nutrition, adequate hydration, spirituality, all that good stuff. So yeah, I get excited about it. I could ramble on for hours about it. So
Oh, I know. But the thing is too is one of the things, what we're doing as nurses now is we're changing the dialogue and we're changing how we take care of patients. You think about when you go into the system and you're working with the system as it is now, we're focusing on body parts and symptoms and disease processes. And we really only get to mental emotional health if there's a crisis, right? We really don't look at that first. And
Yeah.
rarely do we ever touch upon spiritual principles. So that's one of the things that we're doing here as nurses is we're bringing in the spirit of plant medicine to help people reach new levels of wellness using different tools. And some of the different things that we do is we read, we talk, we educate, we do affirmations. We bring in the spirit of plant medicine into our lives personally, and then we share that with our patients and clients. And it's made a big difference. And so what we've been doing every day when Nurse Mark was with us here is we've been doing the daily love, right? And he's been reading from different, and I just love that because it is a really amazing way to wake up.
it
To
is.
just start things from a different perspective. I look at it this way. When I wake up in the morning, I have a built-in forgetter. And I need to be reminded of all these different things. And so starting the day off with a nice little reading is really, really helpful. Just changing your perspective. And that's what a miracle is. A miracle is a change of perspective, the aha moment when it just makes sense. And if you can do these little things, it may help you too. So Carey Lee, what kind of a book do we have with us today?
We have
On McGill. The 4 Agreements. This is a commercial for him. No, just kidding.
No,
But
it's not.
It's not. But the part that's cool about these little books is they're very easy to read, and they have, I would say, boom, like, that boom, you read a sentence and you're like, oh my God, it just makes sense. And so this little book has been instrumental in really helping me to move through and to grow more personally and professionally. And the 4 Agreements was written by Don Miguel Ruiz. And Deepak Chopra writes on the back of the book that this book is a roadmap to enlightenment and freedom, right? And so what does that really mean? When you think about enlightenment, it's not we're going anywhere else. We're bringing in these spiritual principles and we're able to live them, breathe them, express them, right? And then the freedom that we have, the ability to choose how we want to show up every day. So what we're going to do, we're going to read the 4 agreements, just 4 of them. There's 4 right now, but we're going to focus on one of them. So the first one is, Carey Lee.
Be impeccable with your word.
There you go. We talked about that yesterday. The second one is don't take anything personally. What's the third one?
Third one is don't make assumptions.
Excellent. And then the fourth one is always do your best. So Carey Lee yesterday put up a quote. This was just really cool. This is, how synchronicity works. She put up a quote from Don Miguel Ruiz, and it was actually the second agreement, which we are covering today. So I thought it very appropriate that we talk about it. And this quote is this: whatever happens around you, don't take it personally. Nothing other people do is because of you. It is because of themselves. all people live in their own dream, in their own mind, and they are a completely different world from the one that we live in. When we take something personally, what we're doing is we're making assumptions that they know what is in our world. And oftentimes we try to impose our world onto theirs. Really, really interesting concept, right?
Absolutely.
Bottom line, all these billions of people that are around in the world are all living in their own created reality. And we hear these quotes so many different times all throughout social media and spiritual leaders is you don't know what it's like to be someone else unless you've walked in their shoes, right?
It's like when you can actually like really, really try to put yourself this perspective. This when I just want okay. I'm so excited. I'm sorry.
Go girl.
Okay, wait.
You got this.
So when I saw that quote yesterday, I just would like everyone to know I had no idea that this is what we're going to talk about today. First of all, okay. So, but when I read it, it really touched me because it's something that, so many of us struggle with.
Right.
You just think that automatically somebody insults you or it's a passive aggressive comment or whatever the heck it is, even a compliment, that it's all about you. But it really truly isn't. When you it just fascinates me that you're sitting there thinking about they are, coming at you from their perspective and their perspective alone. Their inner world has nothing to do with your inner world.
Exactly.
That's huge. When that finally clicks, it's like, oh, and the clouds parted and the sun shone through. This is it.
Right.
It's a weight lifted. It's a relief. It's one less thing I have to worry about, for God's sake.
Yeah. Yeah. And
right?
here it is. It's like we put
freedom.
That super bubble. Freedom. The freedom to
freedom.
Choose. It is freedom. And it's freedom from your own thoughts based on what someone else is thinking and doing and feeling and what they're projecting onto us.
Mm-hmm.
So bottom line is what? Don't take anything personally, right?
Nope.
And sometimes they even say too, don't even take your own thoughts personally. how many times have we beating ourselves over the
Yeah, or even like I love how they talk about in that particular chapter in the book, just even a compliment, even when somebody tells you how freaking fabulous you are, it's really not, it's still not about you. Just like the bad stuff isn't about you either. You know what I mean? It's like, well, wait a minute, can I have those though? I like those. Anyway, no. You get what I mean.
That's good. Good point.
It's
really
fascinating.
Good point. Yeah, it is fascinating.
It's just like staying centered. I just recently pulled Hestia, a card from my Divine Feminine deck. And
nice.
the inspiration that I received from it, the message I received from it is that my inner realm is the calm harbor for my beautiful soul in order for it to thrive. So if I can keep my fire, my inner hearth burning, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's calm and it's, I can thrive when I'm calm. I can stay centered internally, then I can take on whatever is happening externally. I mean, that's a gift. That is a freaking gift.
And I'm going to tell you, guess what? Guess what plant helped me to reach that new state of wellness? Guess what plant gifted me that wisdom?
Yeah, baby.
And anyways, I don't want to say you have to smoke it to get to that level, but plant medicine is conscious. It's a big teacher, and it has taught me more about myself, that plus other plant entheogens and other people, having that, know yourself and you'll know the world, really cool stuff. So cannabinoids, cannabinoid therapeutics, that's what we're going to lead into, because a lot of these spiritual principles and tools really started hitting me over the head when I started to consume cannabis and started to use it in my spirituality, really making a conscious effort to connect how I consumed cannabis to these different principles for spiritual health and healing. And it's a big thing. When we talk about cannabinoid therapeutics, it's mind, body, spirit, bio, psycho, social, spiritual. So we're going to get into our topic of the day. I'm going to share a little something if I can. Let's see if I can get it up here. And we're going to talk about some of our seniors. Boom, there's the
Nice.
slide. I
Nice.
know, right? I'm getting good at this.
You
So,
are.
right? So here's the reason we're going to talk about seniors. I'm going to be presenting over next week at two different institutions, two different organizations on seniors at senior centers. And so what we want to do now is I'm going to review some of those slides in case there are new people out there, that are older, the baby boomers, and about, educating you. We want you to understand, that cannabis is safe. Safety is of the utmost importance, and we want you all to be able to use this plant for whatever reason you want to use it in a safe way, whether it be for managing symptoms of chronic illness, whether it mean cannabis wellness, or even to have a safe adult use recreational experience. We teach you how to consume in a way that is appropriate and safe so you can what? Reach new levels of wellness and have some joy in your life. So seniors, really good stuff. We have this slide here, and this slide is actually from Holistic Caring. And the CNN Health Report in February 2020, they studied, palm and hand surveyed 15,000 seniors on cannabis use. And I felt this was fascinating. From 2015 to 2018, cannabis use among the senior population doubled to 4.2%. Now, you may not think that's a lot, but it is. That's a big jump. The other thing that was noticed too was that rates of cannabis consumption for women, minorities, college educated, and income over 75,000 also increased. So there are increased rates of cannabis consumption with these different populations. So like I had said, it is about safety. It is about using the plant. And we want our seniors to not be scared. The last thing we want to do is to have our seniors have a really bad experience. So Carey Lee, I'm going to have you share about what you did before you became full board cannabis psychedelic nurse guide, because you worked with a lot of the seniors.
I did. I worked in a skilled nursing facility. I started out as a charge nurse on the floor, taking care of patients, all different age ranges, actually, because it's pretty much like a step down unit from a med surge floor.
Right.
And also transitioned into a rehab nurse,
Right.
which was really, really fun. So I got to really work with the elderly in terms of their mobility and just their fitness, and which, has a direct correlation to their mental health and socialization and all that good stuff. So yeah, this really all ties in. I completely feel this. I can't even tell you. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, just, oh gosh.
Good stuff. So I'm going to bring up our second slide here. Let me just move this around a little bit. So we have a second slide here. And the second slide actually talks about what is important to seniors. As seniors get older, Carey Lee, what have you seen when you work with them? What are the important things that they want to understand?
I mean, for them, I think first and foremost, maintaining their independence is probably the most important thing. And as a healthcare professional, I will do anything in my power to help them achieve that, because it's, independence, maintaining your independence. I don't know, when you start losing that, I think your mental health declines, everything kind of starts, you know what I mean? So it's really important to keep you boosted and keep you up and going,
Yeah. So, it is. Go ahead. I'm going to let you continue.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, other things, obviously, just like you have pointed out here, memory and mobility are really, really, really important. I mean, if you don't use it, you lose it. And that goes for both the mind as well as the body. So again, some type of physical activity every single day, some type of stimulation for the mind, whether that's puzzles or reading or singing or, church, whatever. Just very, very important to maintain, a certain level of lifestyle. So
yeah, it is. And so just think about this too. We don't die of old age. But what we do die of is old age related diseases caused by what? Stress and inflammation. and a lot of times the choices that we make. And so that is why we cover all of the things that support and nourish the endocannabinoid system and those things that don't. Cannabis is a great tool. It's one piece of the pie. So when we're working with older folks, the baby boomers 65 and older, we need to think about specific considerations as we age. And so we have a nice little handy dandy slide up here that goes over it. And we're just going to talk about it a little bit. You think about when we see, Carey Lee, when you see an intake paperwork, from an elderly person, what do we see? We see what?
Multiple diseases, symptoms, medications. The medications, I think, are the most devastating as a nurse to look at when you're seeing that polypharmacy, and that's like taking a minimum of 5 or more medications, and it's heartbreaking in that sense. So
it is heartbreaking. And I'm going to tell you too, honestly, there was a patient, and I'm a storyteller. So there was a patient that I took care of. She was declining, she was on multiple medications, and they wanted to start her on cannabis. And, all of the different symptoms of, cognitive decline, lethargy, not eating, having that failure to thrive. And I looked at the medications and I started questioning. I'm like, why is she on all these? I'm not going to lie. And I said, you know what? I think, CBD would be a great way to start. But the other thing I really want to encourage you to do is to contact your physician. Here we are. We have all of these different prescriptions. And literally, one of the things that made the hugest difference in this woman's life was coming off a really high dose of an antipsychotic.
Oh, gosh. Bingo. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Once we were able to wean her off of that safely using CBD, she didn't need much more of anything, right? Because it was the pharmaceutical that was actually causing so many different side effects. Here it is. It's that merry-go-round circle that we see with the pharmaceuticals. You take a pharmaceutical, you get a side effect, they give you another one. Before you know it, there's a stack. And then you start scratching your head. And the polypharmacy, 5 or more medications. The other thing that a lot of people don't know is if you're on 5 or more medications, there's a 50% chance that those drugs are interacting, and possibly not in a good way. If you take 10 or more medications, this is just a little brain thing to think about, 100% chance that your pharmaceuticals are interacting and not in a way that is beneficial. I guarantee you, as I saw this. So just to we'll go through the slide a little bit, our bodies slow down, our slower metabolism, right? Reduced bioavailability of prescription medicines, right? So our bodies are able to use less of what we ingest. And that concludes everything. That includes food, micronutrients, all of it.
Yeah.
Right? And then you break it down even further to different body systems and organ systems. There's reduced liver and kidney excretion, meaning that they work less efficiently and our body cannot clean out toxins from the blood and metabolize the things that are consumed as effectively as it did when we were younger. Now, and this is another thing too, is that we get older. So we have this big long word, the cytochrome P450 system, right? As we get older, that system that metabolizes pharmaceuticals and CBD becomes less efficient as much as 30%. Right?
Wow.
And so that is why we encourage you all to work with us, cannabinoid specialists, green nurses, because we do want to maximize the therapeutic potential and minimize side effects for the best outcome, right?
Absolutely.
All right, we got slide 4. I'm going to let you start that while I pull up the slide.
So some other age-related biological changes that usually occur with age. Your balance, you're not as steady on your feet, which that can lead to falls. Vision, your vision is reduced. Hearing. So a lot of people are struggling with the consequences of lifelong habits that they chose, such as poor diet or excessive alcohol use, smoking cigarettes. Again, we already talked about the polypharmacy part of it, but when we talk about reducing pharmaceuticals, one of the things I find fascinating, the most commonly reduced or removed medication include ones that are utilized for pain, anxiety, sleep, nausea, appetite, or disordered thinking. Now, I don't know about you, Miss Sherry, but when I look at those, I'm immediately like, cannabis, CBD, cannabis, cannabis, cannabis.
Yeah,
And that
I
was
am
something that
too.
was always running through my mind as a nurse in that environment. Was I'd be looking, passing medications and like, oh my gosh, we could drop these antipsychotics, drop this benzo, replace this with, a 2-to-1 ratio,
Cannabinoid.
3-to-1 ratio tincture, drop a little on someone's in their applesauce, pudding, whatnot. And
Applesauce.
granny or grandpa is going to be like so chill and relaxed and eating and conversing and
Yeah.
being present and not like sitting in the corner drooling and trying to hit everybody. I'm just being honest. That's the reality of it.
Yeah.
Seriously, like when you said those medications create horrible side effects,
Yeah.
they do.
They absolutely do. And the other important thing for you all to know is that half of the emergency room visits of 65 and older, the baby boomers, are a result of adverse drug reactions from pharmaceuticals. So, like Carey Lee said, is reducing the pharmaceuticals is definitely possible with cannabinoid therapeutics. The bottom line is the safe utilization of it. When we work with that age population, we do look at everything. Not only do we look at the physical, diagnosis or the diagnoses from the doctors, but we look at integrative functional health types of questions on our intake form. That's why it's so long. We want to know, not only just what your symptoms are, but what did you have in the past? What are some of the conditions that you had in the past? Because those conditions in the past can be little, I call them little light switches that can help put the picture together when we're
Yeah.
looking at how severe the patient's endocannabinoid system is, how depleted it is. All right. So symptoms, disease processes, medications, and then all the lifestyle factors. What are you eating? What are you drinking? How are you doing it? Are you sleeping? Are you moving? Are you exercising? What is your social life like? Are you able to embrace? Are you getting out? All of these different things contribute to actually how cannabis can work in our bodies as medicine. And so what do we do, Carey Lee? We reach, take their hand. We say, ready, I'll take your hand and I'll hold your hand until you're ready to let
Yes.
go.
As
Right?
long as you need me to until you are ready to go off on your own. Absolutely.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
stuff. So do you have any recommendations for our seniors out there? They're watching.
Okay, here's one. Reach out to your local cannabis nurse for education and coaching. You won't regret it. You won't regret it.
And if you are nervous about doing that, like if you have a little stigma, well, guess what we have for you? We have a private community for you all, the Green Nurse Holistic Caring Community. And the thing that I love about that community is it is private. It's uncensored. All of the green nurses are there. There's providers across the globe that are there, nurses, coaches, other types of providers like acupuncturists, chiropractors, nutritionists, coaches, and it's private. So you get to know different people in a private setting. There is a free introductory to cannabis course. There is a free patient portal, free patient support group. This is just awesome. Free monthly webinars, a free book club. And guess what? You don't even need to own the book. Right?
That's cool.
Elizabeth Mack is the CEO and founder of Holistic Caring Network. And we are so happy as green nurses to be on that platform because we're really able to, we're taking it to the next level, right? We're creating an ecosystem that takes care of patients and providers. And what we're doing too is we're creating jobs for people in the industry that want to come in and join us. We want to teach and educate you. And the other thing that's great too, which we just started to expand on, is the Green Nurse approved CBD marketplace at Holistic Caring, and that is going to be exciting, right? And why is that important to have something approved, Carey Lee? Why?
It's
Why is
important
it?
because it's important for several reasons. First of all, we want to make sure that products that we are recommending to our patients are safe and they are effective. And we want to make sure that, there's nothing harmful. So that's why that has to go through quite a rigorous vetting process to ensure the potency of the flower. Are there any toxicities in the plant? What are the cannabinoids? What are the terpenes that are in that particular product? Is it going to be beneficial for our patients? So there's a lot that goes into that process. So it really means a heck of a lot when you have a green nurse telling you that this product I recommend this product. I don't personally recommend products that have not gone through that vetting process and I haven't actually used myself. It's a trust thing. It's a trust thing.
It is a trust thing. Exactly. Yep. Absolutely. So Carey Lee, this has been awesome. We're going to actually build upon this. Carey Lee is going to be with me tomorrow, and we're going to cover our seniors just a little bit more in detail. We want to be able to, like I said, bring this information to the forefront. When we talk about seniors, we're actually talking about the 5th National Council State Boards of Nursing guideline, which says the nurse shall understand safety considerations for various patient populations when using cannabis as medicine. And we care about our seniors. I'll tell you why.
Yes, we do.
I'm not getting any younger. So as I take care of the senior population, I'm taking care of myself as I age, right? Important.
Sherry, you and I, we're going to end up in an assisted living together, huh? You going to be roomies? No,
Spicoli 1 and Spicoli 2.
Spicoli 1 and Spicoli 2. That works for me.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So Carey Lee, I just want to say I am so grateful for you coming onto the Green Nurse platform. You are rocking it. You are a rock star. You are a superstar. And I'm just really, really grateful that you're there to be working with nurses, coaching and mentoring them, as well as taking care of patients. You're doing great stuff in the community. I love you very much. And I hope you all have a fantastic day. And remember, don't take anything personally. You guys are awesome exactly as you are. And we love you. And we will see you tomorrow morning. And Carey Lee, what's it all about?
It's all about living your best life and helping others do the same.
Love you guys.
Love you.